was once a dream that was Rome.
What's up everybody, welcome back. My name is Roland. This is the best channel that nobody watches except a few special people like yourselves, and for that I will always be grateful. Today I'm going to bring you something different. It's my first talk, I would like to call them. It's not a podcast, it's somewhat of an interview, but I like to think of these in the future as just a talk with the individuals that are inside the community, that are modders or maybe fellow YouTubers. I plan on doing this more often, of course, depending on who I can talk to and the schedules of other people as well. But this is the first episode. Today I'm going to be talking to an individual called Pontifex. He's a modder in the ParaBellum team, but he also recently developed his own mod in the time period of the Diadochi Wars or the Successor Wars. It's a very cool time period, and it is, in my humble opinion, quite underrated, and I think it's worth a shot. So here it is. It's my first interview, guys. You might hear here and there that I was a little bit nervous, so keep that in mind. And also, I was not aware of this at the time of the recording, but there is a volume difference between my recording and his voice, so I'm gonna make sure that's not gonna happen in the future, but it is a thing, and I deeply apologize for that. It's my mistake, and I was not honestly aware that that might happen. It happened. Hopefully it won't ruin the experience for you. And here's the interview. I hope you enjoy it, and always keep in mind I would deeply appreciate a comment for this video, and also especially what I would look forward to is your feedback. Let me know what you think I could do better, and why not even leave some questions for my next guests, because I'm trying to challenge the individuals that I talk to through different questions about CA, about mods, about Total War, about history. And if you have a good question that you think it might be worth a shot in the future episodes, I'm looking forward to it down below. Guys, thank you very much and enjoy the show. Boom. So here we are. I am with Mr. Pontifex. So, Pontifex, who are you? Why are you here?
Oh boy, what a question to start us off.
I knew this was... So, yeah. I'm a dick, I know, I'm sorry. I knew this was gonna put you on the spot, so let me just give you a small introduction.
No, I love it, you're keeping me on my toes.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
The first thing to say, I guess, is first and foremost, I'm a modder, I guess, but so I do my own like solo projects, but also I'm on the ParaBellum team, which I know you know that, and so I'm technically working under the mighty, legendary Ave Metal as well. So he's kind of the guy I answer to when it comes to ParaBellum. But on top of that, I'm just, I guess, a regular guy. I have like a full-time job, so anything I do with modding wise, it's just like an additional hobby, and just it pertains to my interests. I have a degree in history, so all this stuff just kind of like feeds into itself. Yeah. So that's basically that.
I honestly, I discovered history, discovered quote unquote history like 3-4 years ago, and I've just gone balls deep. Like in school, I didn't really like it. I think I blame my teacher actually. But
no, I have a lot to do with it. You're right.
Yeah, like especially in elementary school. Like I don't know about you, but I'm from Romania, so the books were like fucking text after text with dates, and it was nothing interesting. It was just write this down, memorize it. There was no like if I would like to teach somebody history, right? You would maybe draw a battle line on the on the board, or try to do something that's more interactive and not so rough. I don't know how to explain it.
That makes sense. I don't know how it is in Romania, but I feel like in the US the curriculum is incredibly like systematized, so everything is just kind of like, you know, it's monotone. No one really gives a shit about what you're talking about.
Exactly.
So those
it's the same.
Kill the subject.
Yeah, it's the same, and it's just killing it it just killed it for me as a kid. But after that,
you're relying on your teachers.
How did you get into modding?
That's a good question. So when I started playing Rome 2, I should preface by saying this. I was not there for the fatal, release. I don't know if you were or not, but when
No,
the
me
game released,
neither.
everyone hated it. Yeah. So like I got into it a little bit later because I was a big Civ guy. I played Civ 5 a lot growing up, like when I was 17, 18.
Yeah.
I'm like mid 20s now. So then after that, I got into Rome just like by just random, I guess, YouTube scrolling. And then once I started playing Rome 2, I realized that there's a lot of like small trivial inaccuracies, I guess, with the game, and like the ADHD inside of me was like, I have to correct this. I don't know. So I started getting
Yes.
into like I started YouTubing this guy named Magnar, who was a famous modder back in the day. I think he made I can't remember the mods he made now off the top of my head, but he made like a whole YouTube video series about how to mod. So I kind of started dipping my toes in it like that way, and then from then on it just kind of sailed. And then I met Ave Metal, who just randomly kind of like came across, and I swear that dude has been like such a great mentor to me. Honestly, he's taught me a lot about modding. He has like some serious ambition when it comes to it, and I think that just kind of fueled my fire, and that's just kind of where I took off from there.
Yes. Was it difficult, like technically speaking, to get into modding? What
Oh my
programs
God,
do
it's
you...
a pain in the ass.
Okay,
It's
I
like
guess so.
such a pain in the ass. Well, it's like only a pain in the ass because you have to have. I don't even have this, so I'm not like trying to project myself, but you have to have a sort of like analytical brain, a very like you have to have like an ordered brain, I guess, where you love
Yes.
programming or modding or something.
Yeah.
I mean, coding. Yeah. So it's if you like one little tiny thing is off, for example, in the script or in a DB table or something, the whole thing will crash and it'll piss you off. So you have to have patience. It's like a thing that you like learn over time. So definitely, your answer is yes.
Yeah, yeah, I know, because I didn't actually work in the field, but I have a bachelor's degree in computer science, so that's I was curious about the coding and programming and stuff like that. If it's as monotone, and sometimes it like I'm sure it's difficult, but it can be like a little bit tedious. But I guess
Yes, but once you kind of get things going and like understand how the system works that CA built, like it's like exponential. You start really learning a lot and very fast, and so that kind of keeps you inside of it, if that makes sense.
yeah, sure. Okay, so you have you said that you're working on ParaBellum as well, but you made your own mod, right? That one is yours, the Diadochi Wars, is it?
Yes, indeed, it is. Yes.
Okay, what made you want to go deeper into that time period? Is that your favorite time period?
It was for a long time. It's up there. It's
Okay.
like one of my top 3 favorites. That's a great question though. So this one might be.
What would be like? Sorry to interrupt. Like, what would be your top 3 like favorite time periods?
Definitely the Iron Age in general. Probably the pre-Roman late Iron Age, because first off, I got into the classics like most kids do when you like think about the Roman Empire or just the Greeks,
Sure.
like the Golden Age of Greece.
Yeah.
So those were the beginning, kind of the gateway, and then from then on, I started reading like Agricola and Germania by Tacitus and the Gallic War by Caesar. So I started getting into the barbarian tribes because it's kind of like Rome's always the gateway, and then you get into
Exactly.
the other,
Yes. It was.
because
Yeah.
Rome
Yeah.
wrote about everyone, of course. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like, thank God for them, honestly, because we would not know anything about the Germanic tribes, for
Oh,
example, if it was not for the Romans.
Yeah, I'm like sometimes when I start to think about how much of history is lost and we're never gonna know things that happened 1,000, 2,000 years ago, and it's just very sad.
It's a travesty. Like the Library of Alexandria burning, travesty.
Oh yeah, that one as
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
Definitely that.
I'm actually starting to be at the same, like you said, that Rome is a gateway. I'm actually starting to feel the same way towards the Persians. Yeah, and you were saying.
Okay, so that's probably the first one, I guess, the pre-Roman Iron Age.
Yeah.
Also the Bronze Age, because everyone loves heroes. They love like the Iliad, for example. You like to hear about Achilles and Hector and
Yes.
kind of like the epic showdown. And those are the guys who are like the heroes to the Iron Age. They're the heroes to Pericles and to Xenophon and all these like kind of really great commanders, I guess, of the Iron Age. And so to think about, they were those heroes, I guess. And then Alexander becoming like the kind of the latest iteration after that. So going like Alexander saw the Achilles as like his hero. So like that's like kind of and then Caesar saw Alexander, so it becomes like a domino effect and stuff.
Yes,
so
that's
I think
true.
that's kind of how I feel in terms of the periods of history, I guess. I see it like in those effects of Bronze Age, Iron Age, and then later in history. I also love like American history, especially 20th century history. So it's all over the place. It's not like a specific spot, but if that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, sure. And also, what was I about to say? Do you like Pharaoh? Because that's a Bronze Age stuff. And do you like the game?
I probably put like, I don't know, probably around 100 hours into it, and I did like it until then, especially with the final update where they expanded the map like tenfold.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just something about the mechanics or something I just can't get into. I don't know about you. How do you feel about it?
Honestly, I played it for like 4 hours, and also I wasn't about to play it because like I can't remember all the details, but I remember I was pretty pissed off at CA how they launched the game and then how they behaved towards the player base.
Yeah, it was like a saga title
and stuff like this.
Like full price.
Yes, and then also like banning people on forums if they asked wrong questions and such. And then
I didn't hear about that. That sounds like very harsh, honestly.
Oh, I think what's his name? I think Wolulu or whatever. There's a YouTuber called. I'm gonna link it in the description. Actually, he gives a very good description of what they did overall. Like people, they were just banning random people for complaining about stuff, you know. And it wasn't nothing like it wasn't like outrageous things that people were complaining about that you would say, okay, that maybe that guy deserves a ban and such. And also
just like criticism in general.
Yes, and also if I remember correctly, once they updated the game, they kind of relaunched it on Steam. Because if you check now, let me just check because I don't want to be wrong about this. If you look for Total War Pharaoh on Steam, yeah, there's two of them, I think. Is Total War Pharaoh?
It's the base, yeah, and then it's the expansion, right?
Yeah, but there were speculations
they
that
separate it. Right? Like
they separated, yes.
They
Yes, and there was speculation it's also because the bad reviews that the first one got, and then they relaunched it. Anyway,
that makes a lot of sense. Like that's why they would do it. You know, it's kind of like to go around like the criticism.
Yes, and I really disliked that. So I was like, I didn't want to play the game, and I wasn't about to play the game. But there's a guy on the 1100 AD modding team, Bach, that really wanted me.
He's one of the developers for ParaBellum too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yes. So he really wanted me to play the game, and I was like, listen, I said I'm not gonna buy the game on principle, so I'm sorry, I don't wanna play that game. So he actually offered, he gifted it to me on Steam. So I was.
Oh, that's nice of him.
I was super humbled by that. I was like, he really wants me to play the game, so I'm just gonna shut up. He even gifted me the game, so I'm just gonna shut up and give it a go. And I did it for like 4 hours. I really tried, but the UI just kills it for me. It's such a...
I agree. It's very cartoony. That's how Troy was too.
It is, and I've never complained about the UI in a game ever. I've been playing video games for like 25 years now. I've never complained about the UI, but that UI, there's something about it that just pisses me off. And also,
I feel the exact same way. That it resonates. But that's like a video game trend if you haven't noticed. Like
it is.
Civ 6,
it is. Yes.
It does the same shit, and I'm like, what? I hate Civ 6 because of that. Just the look of it. It like turns me off so hard.
It is. Every modern game kind of looks the same.
Yes.
They have that Fortnite look for it, and I don't know if it's something that maybe the newer generation likes, but it's just putting me off. Like the moment I see that, my brain just turns off and looks the other way. I cannot take it.
I agree. See, that's why. So everyone that calls for Medieval 3 or like Empire 2, and I understand obviously why. I love those games too, the predecessors. But if they made it cartoony, I think like it would piss so many people off too. So I'm like, do I even want them to make a new installment? It's like supposed to be a great successor game. I don't even know at this point.
I think about what you just said there. I think about it a lot actually in my free time when I'm at work. You know, I'm like, do I really want them to make, to make Medieval 3 or maybe whatever Rome 3 or as you said Empire 2, like because I just don't have the confidence that they can pull it off anymore. And I really hope that they prove me wrong, but I doubt it, especially because
I feel the exact same way.
Yeah, I think I don't know, like maybe you saw some rumors like allegedly their next game was gonna be a Warhammer 40K.
I saw that too.
Total
also,
War.
Star Wars is in the mix too.
Oh my god, Star Wars!
No. Let's get away from this, guys. Get away from fantasy, please.
I just like, you know what? If you want to do fantasy, like do Lord of the Rings. That would be such a slam dunk for them. Like, keep god,
it separate, like you're doing with Warhammer. I don't know why they don't just keep those like separate, like they are. Like it feels like it's bleeding into each other now. I don't like that.
Yeah, I would like new Total War games, especially historical ones, mostly historical ones. But at the same time, when I look at the track record of game developers in the past 5 years, I just lose all hope.
I agree. The whole industry is just kind of like being tainted. I hate to be a cynic about this. I really sound like I'm like a negative person.
No,
really
it's
not usually. But
me neither. But it's like all this. It adds up. You know, you see launch after launch, like stuff that you might not like in video games, especially recently, and it just adds up, and it shows because a lot of the developers are suffering from the lack of like success on their new releases.
Yep, especially the AAA ones, like the bigger studios. I feel like the small ones, they're making a lot of bangers right now. Like, what's that one guy? Mountain Blade, is that the one? No.
Yeah,
is
maybe.
The one, is the one guy made the entire
the Bannerlord
game?
or what? No,
yes,
sorry.
It's
Manor
It's
Lords. There you go.
Yes, yeah. Like, so people like those are the future, I feel like, of video games.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool, and I would that's something that you want to maybe also like encourage with your wallet, so to say, as opposed to like directors coming out and saying, oh well, you should make it happen if you want to play a game for $80, and then they launch the game and it doesn't even run on the highest high-end PCs adequately.
Yeah, agreed.
It's pretty okay, but let's get back to Total War.
Anyways,
so you have the Diadochi Wars.
Oh yeah. Do you mind if I go into a longer kind of answer about like kind of I guess why I made the game, the setting and stuff?
Go ahead. I'm not here.
Just
go ahead.
Okay,
Speak
sweet.
your mind.
So the setting is just incredibly ripe. It's so ripe for chaos that it was like too perfect to take it. I'm really not sure why CA didn't make like a DLC for the Diadochi Wars. I think they did in Rome 1, didn't they? Am I mistaken about that?
I can't remember. I'll be honest. I didn't play a lot of Rome 1. I'll tell you later why, maybe if you're interested. But
I
I didn't get
beyond oblivion for saying that. But
That's fine.
they have such a loyal like fan base.
Yes, I mean Rome 1 is a great game. It's just that I didn't discover it. I was not aware of it. I was playing StarCraft, Warcraft, and then I stumbled upon Medieval 2 because I was looking for a strategy game where I don't have population cap, so I can have as much armies as I want. That's how I discovered Total War games, actually.
Ah, I see. Well, that makes sense. Well, anyway, so I noticed that Rome 2 didn't have anything like that, so I wanted to. So there's already like really good mods in Rome 2 for like the Diadochi Wars. Like I don't know if you've played Demetrios Poliokrates by Gyros Meister. That's a really good mod too, but it's like a very region specific. So it's like it just has Greece and then parts of like the western half of Anatolia. It's just like really.
Yeah.
It's because it uses the Wrath of Sparta campaign.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So, yeah, it's like a really region-specific focus, and also later in history as well. So what I wanted to do is like make a grand kind of scope of the entire Diadochi Wars. This is setting during the fourth war of the Diadochi. So it's basically Demetrius and Antigonid versus everyone. So
it's such a badass story. Like I watched, I think I didn't read about it, but obviously I watched the YouTube videos from I think it's Kings and Generals.
Same. The whole entire series.
It's such a battle royale type of situation. It's super fascinating, but I also think it's really underrated, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. You're definitely right about that. Like, I should have really made that clear earlier. Like, it's like no one really knows about it unless you're kind of more in tune with history. But like,
exactly.
People who are surface level do not have any inkling. Even though it, like, for example, it has an impact on our life today. Like the Hellenistic period was caused by that, for one. And like the Bible, for example, the New Testament was written in Greek, and there's a reason for that. You know, it wasn't written in like Aramaic or something like that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's like such an underrated history. You're definitely right about that.
It is, and it's a shame because it's so fascinating. And like you said, like Demetrius and Antigonus, like they were like fighting everybody, and everybody was fighting everybody. It's super fascinating
for a while.
Yeah.
Just kind of came in and pile drove everyone out of nowhere.
Yeah, and you even have like side characters like Pyrrhus. Sorry, how do you say that?
Yes.
Like Pyrrhus just occasionally showing up there. It's like it just blows your mind.
Like there's all these ubermenches like of generals that come out of nowhere in history. Like yes, Alexander was probably like the king of them all in a sense of like he never like really lost a serious battle, but these guys were like his side guys, and every single one of them were incredibly, they were savvy, they were cunning, they were just great leaders and administrators, and they all happened to exist at the same time. That's not a coincidence. And so after Alexander passed away and all these generals started, trying to fight for the territory, like it really like puts into perspective like how great men can come about, and like it really takes the perfect opportunity for that situation to kind of envelop itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so okay, that's the main reason why I wanted to make the mod. There's also like a bunch of other stuff around the areas that also are concurrently happening, like the Second Samnite War, which I don't know if you know, but like right after that, this setting is actually right after the Battle of Caudine Forks, which the Romans actually got like eviscerated by the Samnites. But pretty much most of their armies were just depleted at that point, and Samnites were in control. Like they were actually on the up and up, and Rome was definitely on their back heels at that time. So that's why the Second Samnite War was happening. And then on top of that, the Sicilian Wars between Syracuse and Carthage.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
oh yes.
yeah, such
yes.
you know Agathocles? He's such a Hellenistic.
Agathocles. That's the guy that invaded Africa, right?
Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah. He just sold everything in Syracuse and just let's just go on an expedition. It's so crazy, man. That's so fucking nuts. Yes.
If you consider the logistics of doing something like that, especially in the Iron Age, like when you're just kind of like riding on luck in the Mediterranean, like that's such a ballsy move, and it like paid off so well for him.
Yes, it's. I don't know, man. Like
he was a Chad man, but like he also. So I should also make it clear, he was also a kind of an ambivalent like tyrant. So
yes, that's true. Like, I remember that in seeing that in about him. Yes.
Yes, he got like all the senators and the rich men in like one room, for example. I think Machiavelli talks about this. I like reading Machiavelli. So he got all these like rich dudes and the senators in one room and just kind of had his own men slaughter them, and that's how he took power. Like so, it's like But what happened at the time was it had a very corrupt oligarchy at the time. Syracuse did. So like he was doing it for good intentions, but of course like he also just took out the entire like, people in power.
That's actually very similar to what Vlad the Impaler did in Wallachia.
Was this during his wars with Mehmed?
Before he took back the power, because he went back home with, I think, at that time Mehmed supported him. So he went back home and he gathered all the nobility into a dining stuff, and most of them were responsible for betraying his father, and then his father got killed or buried alive or something really nasty. And then
weren't they? Am I wrong when I say wasn't Vlad and Mehmed, weren't they raised in the same household for a long time?
They were. Yes, he was a prisoner, because usually that's what the Ottomans would do. They would take like noble prisoners to make sure that their vassals stay in line. So Vlad was one of these guys. He learned the Ottoman ways. That's why he was pretty successful against them, because he knew what they were doing. But anyway, he did kind of the same thing. He just gathered everybody up and then had his way with them, and then he took power, and then he unleashed the stuff against the Ottomans.
Dude was probably taking notes from Agathocles. He had to. Such a Agathocles move.
Maybe because I remember there's the documentary of Rise of the Ottomans. Did you see it from Netflix?
Yeah, I did a long time ago. That's how I know what I just said a while ago. But it's like back in my core memory.
Yeah, and I think there was, if I remember correctly, there was talks there about them studying about Alexander together or something like that, or Mehmed studying about Alexander and the fallout. So there might be something there.
Like a while ago, what I just said about Caesar, like revered Alexander.
Exactly,
Revered Achilles. It's like it's always a line in history, I swear, like tracing like, I want to be like this guy. Like Napoleon wanted to be like Caesar as well, who wanted to be like Alexander, who wanted to be like Achilles. So like, it's always this line of like reverence, I guess. And that's just everyone and the newest installment inside of them.
Yeah. Well, that is very great. I'm very happy you made that mod, because it's truly a fascinating time in history. And it just shows you that like you said, like Alexander was a badass, right? But then he had all these guys surrounding him. It's just mind-blowing. And
it really is. Like all those great generals at one time in history, that's like unprecedented, literally.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I have to ask you. Of course, ParaBellum is the best mod ever. What other mods do you like to play?
I like to play Diadochi Impera sometimes. It's like Diadochi Impera is just one of those where like you have to really put your entire mind into like all the mechanics,
it's quite
like
challenging.
The mechanics. Yes, it is. So you have to like really put your heart and soul into the campaign, which I like. But also like I don't have as much like free time as I would like. So sometimes I just like to chill and have a happy medium. That's what ParaBellum was for, in my opinion.
That's exactly.
That. Also, I like to play 1212 as well. All the mods that you kind of play on your channel, honestly, are the ones that like are my favorite, which is like why I came across your channel, is because we have aligning interests. So that answers your question. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like the Diadochi Impera it's more grindy. Like you have to consume more energy to play it adequately. And ParaBellum is also enjoyable in a different way, where it gives you yeah, it gives you a good challenge, but it's not gonna grind you down. And especially like you said, if you're busy and you're in your real life, so to say, then sometimes you just have to like unwind playing some ParaBellum. And I also like, what I love about ParaBellum is that I can't remember all of the names of the DLCs now, but one of the things that always caught my attention and I liked is that the names that you guys gave to the DLC expansions and campaigns, it's just better than what CA did with their DLCs. Like
Ave Metal did that, by the way, not me, because that was I joined a little bit late. So I think you're talking about what he did. It's like he would name the DLCs after the time period instead.
Exactly, like you have the Gallic Wars instead of Caesar in Gaul, or what's the name of it?
Right.
Or,
that's exactly right.
And there's the Peloponnesian Wars instead of Wrath of Sparta. I can understand like why CA did that, because like somebody hears Caesar, oh, that's Caesar. Like if you tell them about the Gallic Wars, maybe some of them will be wondering who's a Gaul or what's a Gaul,
Yeah, exactly.
Same with Wrath of Sparta, but I always admire that, and I really, really like that. Okay, so what was your first medieval game?
Oh, medieval.
Your first Total War game. Sorry.
Oh, Total War. Okay, so it was Rome 2. That's why I think I feel like you and I are in different camps here because we weren't there for release. I feel like if we were there for release, we might have a different opinion on it. But
I agree.
You go on YouTube and you see like anyone talk about Rome 2, like Terminator or someone like that, and they always like kind of have this like, oh well, it kind of like dropped the ball at the release, and so it's kind of a shitty game now. But I know we caught it a little bit later on, so we saw where like a lot of that stuff was repaired. Great DLCs were released, so there's a lot more like variety and things now. So I just fell in love with it. There's like I have an ungodly amount of hours in that game. It's like embarrassing how much I do. So it was definitely Rome 2, and it was my first love in terms of like strategy games as well. So I think we're in similar boats on that one.
Yeah, and was Rome your first faction?
Oh, it definitely was, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that was back when I was into the classics, so definitely.
Okay, well, if you would have said a Greek faction, I would have been blown away. But, of course, everybody starts with Rome.
It's the gateway, like we said, man.
Yeah, that's true. And I had this kind of the same. Like, I came to Rome 2 a little bit later, mainly because I didn't have a good enough PC. I was on a laptop, and it was frying my laptop, so I just didn't touch it. But I do go back, and I'm going to link this guy, because he is, like... the guy that I told you about, he was talking about the launch of Pharaoh. He has like 100,000 subscribers. He's pretty big, and he also gives a good timeline of Rome 2, and he has a lot of good stuff. If you like Total War, like he has a good content on it. But I came,
do you know his name off the top of your head?
I'm gonna send it to you.
I mean, you'll send it. Yeah.
It's I don't remember it because like he publishes a video once every few months, so it's kind of rough to remember. But I will link it.
Probably every time.
It's usually long form videos.
Oh wait, no, never.
1, 2, 3, 4 hours sometimes and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's really long. But like I guess yes. So Rome 2 was your favorite. Okay, so do you go back to the older games? Did you go back to the older games, to Medieval 2 or to Rome 1?
So this might catch me some flack, but I actually have never played Rome 1 or Medieval 2. I've only played Rome 2 onwards. I think every single Total War that's like a historical one from Rome 2 onwards. So.
Okay, yeah.
I apologize if like anyone heard that it pissed him off, but because I have respect for them, obviously. Like I know what came before, but yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to apologize for anything, man. Like we all have different moments in time when we reach games, and like I said, I didn't play Rome 1. Like sometimes people make fun of me for that, but I didn't play a lot of Rome 1 because I wasn't aware of it happening or being
That's
a thing.
How I am too. I'm not sure how old you are too, but I think like I was a little bit young when it came out too, so I wouldn't have ever even come across it. I did watch what's his name? He was the most famous Rome 1 YouTuber for a long time. Is it just Alexander? Something like that? Like he played multiplayer battles all the time, but he's like
I don't think I'm aware of it.
Incredibly famous for it.
Yeah.
That's how I figured it out what it was. But I never knew it was Rome. I never knew the game. It was just like as a young kid, like I would watch it and then not understand what I'm watching, but it was cool.
Yeah, I mean armies are always cool on the screen.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, fine. And what about Attila? Did you play a lot of Attila? I mean, you said you played 1212 AD.
Yes, Attila is definitely my number 2 Total War like of all time. I have quite a bit of hundreds of hours in that one as well, but I love not just like medieval or Kingdoms 1212 AD. I also love like the natural setting of it as well. For
Yeah.
Attila, like the whole thing is just, I love the aesthetic. I don't know if you feel the same about that, but like just the Attila the Huns and like the background music being like Mongolian throat
It is.
singing, it sounds like something like that.
It is.
It's so cool to me.
Yeah, it is. It is a little bit. It offers you a glimpse into a different timeline because we're usually always into like the peak of the Republic and the Empire and the what do you call it, the Punic Wars. But later on, it's not so well known, so to say. It's always like
Roman Empire.
Yeah, the late Roman Empire is not that well. I don't know. Or at least maybe I'm talking about myself, but I still have to dig deeper into that time period because I am interested, but there's so much history, out there, and there's so little free time, and especially because I always want to like record stuff for the channel, so time is always a factor. But Attila indeed is cool because it gives you a different time period.
Definitely. Yeah, it's like the Dark Ages. It just has that cool feel to it. I don't know, but it's definitely like a stark contrast from Rome too. I think the developers did pretty good in just like making sure that they were distinctly feeling games, even though they used a lot of the same assets.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I think
Attila,
they did a good job of like separating them out.
Yes, Attila feels much faster.
Yes, but
while
it's also like it's also gotten shit on for being like less optimized. Like I don't know if your PC runs less.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I always make this joke. Attila is like my drunken uncle Attila. It's like one day he's gonna be okay, the next day he's gonna be drunk and he's not gonna be okay. It feels random. I just honestly feel random. I have a decent PC, or it used to be decent, but it's random. Sometimes it runs nicely, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, I agree. Also, MK1212 is like such an insanely large mod. Like, there's like, I mean, understandably so. There's so many units they have in there, but it also like kind of slows down my PC as well. So maybe it's just like the mods I'm using or something. But yeah, I'm the same way. My PC, I bought it like in 2020, I think it was. So I'm one of those dumbasses that bought it during like the prime of COVID.
I got prices. Brother, I got my GPU in that time period. Dude, that's all I need. That's all you need to know.
I'm in the same boat.
But I actually
since then I haven't upgraded anything.
Yeah, me neither. Like I have around the same time period. I got my GPU. It's a 6800 XT AMD GPU, but I only paid like 100 euros over the what do you call it? The price tag, the default price tag. So I was okay.
Oh, MSRP. That's
MSRP. Yes, there you go. Yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, MSRP. Because I know that like, prices were outrageous.
Yes.
Outrageous.
Yeah, it was like it was historically insane how high they were.
It was. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so let me see. Okay, I have this is perfect because you said you have a degree in history. If I would give you a time machine, what character would you like to become, and what would you do differently than that said character?
Oh god, that is such an intense question, honestly.
Just take your time. There's no rush. Whatever history.
Oh boy, that's.
I mean, preferably ancient or medieval, because I know a little bit more there. But you can go, like you said, you like American history. You can go there. It doesn't matter. Whatever comes to your mind.
Honestly, for some reason I'm leaning towards like Charlemagne. I love that dude. He was such a great. He's like a remnant of the great generals of the ancient period. I feel like he was one of those that just like was born in the wrong period, but also the perfect period, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm trying to think here, like what it would be like an actual answer for that. I don't know. Do you have an answer out of curiosity, so I can just buy
Well, usually yeah, I think it was Alexios III, right? The guy that the Eastern Roman Emperor that fled when he found out that the Crusaders are gonna come for the city.
Yes.
I think if I'm him, I would like to be him, and I would stay in the city and do everything possible to defend the city, and I would fight to the death, like Constantine the 11th style. I think that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Because I think
that's a badass answer. How do you freaking set the bar that high and then like have that?
It is not fair because I thought about this question and I really thought about like I think about the Fourth Crusade a lot because in my eyes that's when all went to shit, unfortunately.
What's funny is the mug I'm holding it right now, like drinking coffee out of. It has like a Templar cross on it. It's from the Crusades, so that's funny you say that.
Yeah, that's cool. I have one of those around here somewhere. But also, like, the only good thing that came from the Fourth Crusade is that it created, somewhat like coming back to the Diadochi Wars, it created the setup that was created after the Fourth Crusade in Greece, Asia Minor, and in the Balkans was very interesting. It was, again, an all-out battle, and luckily the Greeks came out on top, but still it was kind of diminished by that point in time. But the setting was awesome afterwards to see how and what happened.
That makes sense. Okay, I think I have my answer now. If you're ready for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know who Arminius is?
Arminius is the guy that betrayed Rome, right?
Yes, exactly.
Gutenberg
yes.
Forest, right? Yes, I know.
So you're sort of Rome, but so like I feel like you wouldn't like this answer, but I feel like
That's fine.
He did very well with the Gutenberg Forest, like you said, in like 9 AD, and he took out obviously many legions, multiple legions.
Yes.
But like Varus, I guess, is the guy that lost all the legions. But I feel like he didn't know how to consolidate power afterwards, and I think that's what I would try to do instead, is like unify the Germanic tribes over time, like kind of like Vercingetorix tried to do with the Celtic tribes, the Gaulish tribes. Yes. I feel like those guys did so well initially, but they didn't know how to, I don't know, just finish the job.
That's true. I'm actually watching History March's video about all the.
I love that channel so much.
Yo, it's what got me into like serious balls deep history, because initially it started out, ooh, battles, ooh, nice, but then you go deeper into history, you know, and you look into it. It's fascinating.
It sounds like we have the same interest, but you and I came to the same thing by different means. Like, so I was very much into like kind of the generic statesman history, like, oh, this was the leader of this country during this time, etc. And then afterwards, I got into battles, like battle history. But you were, it sounds like the opposite, where your gateway was the battles into this other history. Is that right?
Something like that, yes. I was a little bit more simple-minded like that, because I was attracted by battles and tactics, and then you learn the context around those battles, and then you go wider and wider and wider, and then you start understanding more. Like,
do you have a favorite battle out of curiosity? Would it be like Cannae or something like that, like an absolute massacre? Or was
wow,
like
I actually didn't.
General or
sorry, one more time. What?
I said, or was it just like a crusade, like one of the like First Crusade or Fourth Crusade or general? Like, what do you think?
Favorite battle? I actually didn't think about this.
I mean, you don't have to answer now, obviously, like, cause.
No, yeah. That's a very good question, actually, and. Wow. Okay, I'll think about it. I'll come back. But if I am,
I know the battle of Issus, is that the one where Alexander like enveloped Darius entirely? What's that? What was that battle? That was Gaugamela. That's what I'm thinking of. Have you seen the Alexander movie, by the way?
Yes, but I need to rewatch it, because I've seen it many times, but I've seen it back when I didn't know history. So I would like to watch it now, because I would understand it even better.
Definitely.
Yeah. It has to be, like, it should be something with the Eastern Romans. Like, Eastern Rome is my favorite faction. But, yeah, nothing comes to mind. Like, obviously, yeah, go ahead.
All I was going to say is they had such a trifling time. I feel like they just never could get on their own, like, 2 feet because of the
It was rough.
Like the environment they were in.
It was so rough. Their enemies were all around. Strong enemies, different types of enemies. It's just like, you know, when I grew up, you grow up, you see a Roman Empire, you see such grandeur, so much strength, power, and you wonder, like I wondered as a kid, like, how did they fall? How is that even possible? And then I grew up, and then I looked into their history, the many civil wars, the many invaders, and you wonder, how did they last so long, you know? So it's completely the opposite, and that is very, that's especially true in my limited, you know, history opinion with the Eastern Roman Empire. Because I checked, like, earlier this year, I think I was talking to Bach, actually, and I was like, man, I'm pretty sure like the Eastern Romans had more civil wars than actual wars. And then I looked it up, and it was like significantly more civil wars.
It says
fighting.
A lot, doesn't it, about it?
Like even like I just found this out recently. Like even when the Ottomans were sieging Constantinople, the guys in Greece were having a civil war. That's why they didn't send reinforcements to Constantinople. I mean, at that point in time, you can just, you know what, you kind of deserve what happened to you. And I got so pissed when I found that out. I remember the whole day I was pissed. I couldn't believe it, man.
That's why. So I'm not like a huge fan of Game of Thrones, but I know most of the history behind Game of Thrones, like the kind of the general like workings of it, I guess, by George R.R. Martin. I think he actually took inspiration from the Eastern Roman Empire. A lot of it was, at least.
I mean,
so there's such an interesting history there, obviously.
There's so much you can do. It's so sad that, like, generally speaking in media, the Eastern Roman Empire is not very well covered. Almost.
It's really not.
It's,
I mean, like,
there's almost, like, if I would like to do, I don't know, an intro video for one of my Eastern Roman campaigns or something, I'm struggling to find content to do anything.
Have you done a playthrough of? Sorry if you have. Like, I just haven't seen.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Playthrough through like Belisarius, like one of those. Like, there's tons of mods about him.
I'm playing the Gothic Wars right now, which sets. It puts you on the map of in Attila. It puts you on the DLC map of Charlemagne, and you just started to invade Italy as Belisarius. So that's
such a great campaign.
It is, and it's like pretty challenging. So it's pretty much it's pretty fun, because that's the one that I'm playing right now. I haven't played. There's also you probably know this also, the Age of Belisarius, which is
that's the one I'm familiar with.
Yeah, I didn't try that yet. Also, the 555 Age of Justinian is a cool mod, but
yes,
I didn't play it yet because I was like, it's cool and I will play it eventually, but I wanted to play something that's before that, you know, because by 555, like, they kind of did all the conquering, and at that point you have to like defend more, so to say. I would have liked something more that starts before, and this, I think this mod is called 553 the Gothic Wars. 553.
Is it a sub mod for one of the bigger mods, or
it
is it standalone?
It is. So it's 536 AD, I think. The Gothic Wars. It's a sub mod for Age of Justinian.
Ah, gotcha.
So you need that one, and then you need part 2, 3, and 4 from Age of Justinian. I think Terminator made a video about it in the last couple of weeks. So
I played 555. I just haven't played that one. That's all.
Yeah. So that's
Justinian and Belisarius. They're the two goats of the East.
Yeah, it was an interesting dynamic between the two of them. It's a cool story. And now that you asked me,
get like really jealous of Belisarius at one point, like exile him, and then he returned him back to service. Am I wrong about that? I think that did happen.
Yes, that happened, and like it happened a lot in history that a emperor gets jealous at the general, and then he calls back the general, and then the campaign goes to shit, and it's like, come on, guys.
Yep. I mean, the momentum was lost, so like, what can you do, you know?
Yes. He kind of cucked him, like at the point where he was making progress in Italy. He sent Narses, you know.
That's right. Yeah, the general who was like more aligned with Justinian and was just kind of like yes man. Yeah.
Something like that. Yes. He also trusted Narses more because, you know, when the big rebellion in Constantinople happened, he literally trusted Narses with everything because he gave him a good pile of money, and then he told him to go and start bribing people so that people calm down. And at that point in time, if Narses would have turned on him, that would have been really rough.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I don't know. Like, I don't know how you feel, but I don't blame Justinian too much. Like, if Belisarius was getting as much victories in North Africa and Italy as he was, like, you know,
no, of course, like yes, sure.
It's like a mandate of heaven.
It's natural. It's natural.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and especially there was one point in time where Justinian got sick with the plague, and then I don't know. There was some rumors that Belisarius didn't return to Constantinople, and he was sitting in his camp and planning stuff. And we don't know what.
Just in case Justinian.
Yes, and we don't know what we will never know what those plans were. But there were talks that they might rebel against the empire and try to take power.
I know there was a secret history of Justinian's reign.
Yeah.
I forget. It's by a contemporary, but a lot of people I know kind of view it with like skepticism. So that's all I know about it, though.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, is the same person that wrote the actual history. So he wrote two books in parallel, where he would write, the official one and the unofficial history, so to say.
The one sanctioned by the royal king and the one not sanctioned by the royal king.
Yeah, but now that you asked me about my favorite battle, I really like the Battle of Dara, of course, from Belisarius when he defended against the wait, yeah, that at that point in time they were the Sassanids already.
Yeah,
yes.
Sassanid Empire. Yep.
Yeah. If you look, if I remember correctly, yeah, there's a 2-hour video on Belisarius.
Yeah, I want to say there. I recognize that. Is that from History March or is that from
It's
Generals or what?
I think it's from History March. Or it's I always mistake those two guys, unfortunately. I apologize, but it's from one of those two guys. And the setup and the layout is super smart. And the way he uses the horse archers, I think Hunnic horse archers, to beat the Sassanids is quite interesting. And just the fact alone that he used horse archers against the Sassanids to win a fight. It's just, it's just, it's funny.
It really is. Were those horse archers like nomadic archers?
I think they were.
Curiosity.
If I remember correctly, they were of Hunnic descent.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would
make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Rome 2, Attila. Excepting Rome, what other factions do you like playing usually?
Oh, I'm a sucker for the barbaric tribes as well. Like I told you, I got in a huge phase about like the Germanic tribes and the Celtic tribes. So probably the Averni or the Swebi from like Vanilla, if we want to talk about that. But just all the fact so the reason why I like them so much is because their units are incredibly explosive. So like their calf charges and stuff. Yeah. Like their melee attacks are insane. Obviously, their defenses are not as good as Rome because Rome had better armor and better melee defense, cohesion and whatnot. So they
have better charge.
The Germanic tribes,
the
Celtic tribes, yes, they usually
they usually hit hard.
They don't last in a battle after that.
Yes. It's a nice balance, a nice contrast to the Romans.
Yeah, the Romans had discipline. The Germanic tribes and the Gaulish tribes definitely did not as much. That's why Caesar would defeat them with like a fifth of the same forces.
Oh yeah, but those things are so crazy. Like even with the Boudicca's rebellion, Yes.
I think it was like, I don't know. I mean, this is Caesar's figures, obviously, so they might be inflated a little bit. But I know, I think Rome had something to the degree of 30 to 40,000 troops, and Vercingetorix had 250,000, quarter of a million, damn near.
Something
Caesar,
like that.
He did some crazy shit. He built 2 walls around his own self, not just one. And I don't know. It's just the stuff that the Romans did. Just shows you that they had such incredible perseverance. They're like, I'm not going away.
They took
out the entire army. They're like, yeah, that's fine. We'll just build a new army. That's how they're so damn persistent.
That is, I think that's what made them who they are. Their ability to just be headstrong and follow through their plans and through their will to dominate, and just the sheer amount.
Examples.
Yes, they're just sometimes when you look at certain conflicts, wars, time periods, they're not invincible. They get smacked around quite a few times, pretty hard.
The Cambri Wars, the Germanic tribes.
Oh my God, yeah.
The Samnites, obviously Hannibal, destroyed them multiple times. So
yes, but their perseverance and their ability to just send another army, even with the Macedonians, there was a little bit of back and forth. Yeah. It's just incredible.
It really is. That shows a lot. I think really that's how it sounds like in history. That's how you survive as a faction, is just straight up persistence. You have to have a sort of will to live, virility to live,
Yes,
and exist.
Yeah, and it's also I started. I don't know. Are you into Warhammer 40K lore?
I have 2 coworkers who are insanely into it. And they always talk to me about it, and it sounds interesting. But I know it's one of those where if I start dipping my toes, I would head dive straight into it. But not right now. I'm not.
No, yeah, I started about a couple of weeks ago, so I'm starting to. But you see parallels because it's interesting, like you said before. The Romans were very perseverant, and they did what they want. They needed to do in order to grow and to survive, and that's something very similar with the human faction in Warhammer. Of course, listen, if somebody watches this and he's a Warhammer, fanatic, I just started going into it. So if I say something stupid, relax, okay?
Is it the Space Marines? Are those the human factions?
Well, the Space Marines are a unit type in the Imperium, which is the human faction. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, so it's the silver shields of the humans. It sounds like
something like that. Yeah, very, very badass. Yes. Okay,
Yeah, I know it's an expensive habit as well. So I'm sorry for your wallet.
It seems to be. Yeah, it seems to be.
Yeah.
Like when whenever I go, I bought up for a few board games like last year, and they obviously they had a lot of Warhammer stuff, but like not even like a board game, just an expansion to a board game would cost like, I don't know, like well over €100 where I live. What other games do you play? I don't want to hold you up. Are you like, how much time do you have here?
No, I got plenty of time. I think the rest of the day I'm pretty open, so it's up to
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I don't really play that many other games, to be honest. I just play like
No.
Civ, Total War, those types of things, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you play other strategy games in the past? Did you play some of the classics? Or did you not look back at... I'm actually... Listen, you said you're 20... How old?
I like just turned 28 like 2 days ago, actually.
Okay. Well, how do you say it? Many more birthdays ahead of you, I wish you. I don't know how to say in English when somebody tells your age and you want to tell them to live long lives. I don't know. What's the expression?
I don't know. I'm thinking of live long and prosper, but that's the Star Trek thing. So I really don't know how you'd say it, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an expression for that in English, actually. Is there?
I mean, if there is, like, it's just like my head's in my ass right now. I have no, like...
That's fine. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Do you, like... Okay, so you're 28... Yeah, so you're from 90. Yeah, I'm from 89, by the way. I'm 36. I'm very old. I'm ancient. Anyway, I don't
look like that, honestly, because when you had the Roman helmet on, when you had your stream the other day,
yeah,
I couldn't. Yeah, you look like you're about my age. So
well, if I shave and if I take all my beard off, I look like a baby. But I don't want to do that. Do you revisit older games that were maybe a little bit before your time, or do you usually play what you grew up with?
I definitely do play older games. So like, I used to be one of the normies that was into Call of Duty for a little bit ago, and so I would like revisit. I played Call of Duty 2 like about a year ago, I think, and I played an entire like campaign through that. So I do that occasionally, but usually I stick with like nostalgia games or like the games I play now.
Sure. Yeah, you recently, like before we finish, you recently made an update for the mod, for your mod, for the Diadochi Wars, and also like I want to ask you like. Mechanically, game mechanics wise, what did you change in the Diadochi Wars for those that are watching and they didn't play the mod yet, as opposed to vanilla?
Just like since the start, like since the release of Diadochi Wars, since successful.
You can start with since the release and then with the update if you want.
Okay, so I'll start with the release. So I guess what's different from vanilla, what I actually like to do is I kind of wanted to keep it like kind of like ParaBellum does, like kind of close to vanilla, but not exactly vanilla, you know?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of different mechanics. Like for example, if you're one of the Diadochi factions and you conquer Pella, you know, of course the capital of Macedonia, then like you can make that your own capital. For example, that's just like a scripting thing that I got help with. Similar thing with the Samnites or the Etruscans. If you decide to conquer Rome, you can make Rome your capital. So it's like. I guess those are like smaller things, I guess, mechanic-wise. But on top of that, like the main goal, so like with the new update, for example, the main goal is to get the entire Diadochi land rosters to be overhauled entirely to kind of make them like their own flavors and specific, I guess, uniqueness to them, I suppose.
Yeah, add a little bit flair.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So the Antigonids, the Antipatrids, and the Lysimachus are complete, but I still need to do the Seleucids and the Ptolemaic dynasty. So, but I kind of let them be the last two because by nature, like by the release of vanilla, it's like they're already they have their specialized units already, so it's kind of mostly done already, you know?
Yeah.
But that's that. But I guess from here on out, the plan of the future is to like unlock more factions, finish the overhaul of the rosters, and from then on out just kind of expand and like do other things with like maybe some barbaric factions, because like Italia is like jam-packed full of factions now, because it was like before Rome's hegemony. So
yes,
you know, it's like do other small stuff, I guess, on top of that.
Yeah. And we talked about the Diadochi Wars, but I didn't ask you which faction is your favorite.
Okay, this also might, like, people may not agree with this, that's fine, but I'm a big fan of Lysimachus, just because I feel like he's a dark horse. He was a great administrator and not only a general. Okay,
like, excuse my stupidity, he's the guy from the Balkans, right?
Yes, up in Thrace.
Okay,
yes, exactly.
Yeah, he was underrated, because I did see that he had some pretty good victories over the other guys.
He did, like at the Battle of Ipsus, where him and Seleucid beat Antigonid and killed Antigonid, where Demetrius was like on his own after that. Like Lysimachus was largely responsible for that. So that's just an example. But he I kind of feel bad for him in history because he had to deal with the Thracian tribes, and those guys are like a thorn in Greece's neck always. Like they always have been. They're like tremendous fighters. They're ballsy people.
Yeah.
So he had to kind of like domesticate them, like all while also facing other Diadochi factions. So he had it rough, but he did pretty good with what he had, I think.
I agree. Yeah, from the little that I know, I agree. Like he was fairly underrated. He's probably the most underrated out of all of them. And
I agree. Yeah,
and like you said, like go ahead.
I was gonna say his roster like now has like Thracian flavor to it now, so I feel like it's kind of like a Greco-Thracian roster, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I like their roster a lot as well.
Yeah, and just like you said, like dealing with the Thracians, I can only imagine. For some,
imagine, like, constant rebellions.
Yeah. Okay.
Pissed off.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I have one more question for you. Actually, I'll have two. What do you think about CA? Do you think that they have the ability to do a proper like historical Total War game that would please? I would say the old school. I don't even know what to call the historical fans because there's the divide between Warhammer and the historical Total War games or players.
Yeah.
Do you think they have the ability to do a good historical Total War game?
Yeah, to craft another banger, essentially.
Yeah.
I think they have the ability. I want to be positive. I don't want to be too negative, or at least I'll be a little bit ambivalent. So I think they do, but I also know that a lot of the same staff that built, these timeless games like Medieval 2 and Empire, they're not there anymore.
Gone.
So like we're talking about a whole new breed of people. So I'm really not sure, honestly. I'd like to be optimistic, but realistically, I'm gonna vote like I'm gonna say 65 to 70% chance that it's gonna be, I don't want to say a flop, but it won't be as good as the classics ever. I think also they have a lot less historical fans now. I feel like a lot of them kind of left and grew up, or like they just went on to different games because it's been so long since they crafted such a great game. I think
that's true.
So I think the bar is not as high as it used to be either, in terms of like economic price and whatnot like that. So
yeah,
I don't know how you feel about it, but that's how I feel about it.
I kind of agree. I'm a little bit grimmer than you because I don't know, maybe life made me this way. But I mean, it's not about getting beat down, but you see things, and you realize that sometimes I don't think they have the ability. I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope they prove me wrong. I would love that. But
yes,
like,
I agree.
They've launched a few historical games, since Attila, for example, which is the last good one for me. And they weren't very good, and especially this new AI is just lowering my testosterone into the basement, to be honest with you. So
yeah,
I don't think so, but I hope I'm wrong, and I hope they prove me wrong.
The estrogen is strong with CA, I swear.
One more time, please. I didn't hear you.
So the estrogen is strong with CA.
Yes. Let's not get into that, because let's not get into that, because
by opening a Pandora's box.
No, I'm gonna like the 3 people that watch this channel are gonna have no channel to watch anymore if I start talking about shit like that. To be honest with you.
Fucking ban your ass, dude.
Oh, I couldn't care less about them, but okay, let's stop there, because like. Just like with Hollywood, the game industry has gotten infected with activists, and
yes, agreed.
To be an like I always thought that the term social justice warrior in the definition itself, I think it's a noble idea, right? You try to make rules that are treating people well, even the people that are maybe not treated so well. So in the theory, I think it's a good thing. But the way it became distorted and just, let's just stop.
It's definitely affected the entire video game industry. I will definitely agree with you on that. And it's not for the better. It's definitely for the worse. I think it's like kind of tanked, I want to say, AAA industries.
And they're not even smart about it, They're just spitting it into your face. There's so many, like, I don't want to give them ideas, but there's so many things that you can do to be a little bit more tamed in a way in which you get your message through, like subliminally, but also you make a good game, maybe, so you can be more smart about it. But they're just not smart about it. They're just,
could not agree more honestly with you on that one.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. And honestly, I'm not surprised everything is failing in the AAA, and I'm glad it's failing because they did it to themselves.
Exactly, yeah. They're shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, like, yeah. The amount of times that you hear developers or publicists, mostly developers, attack the player base to which they want to sell a product. Like, how stupid is that, you know? Like,
terrible business model.
It's not sustainable, and we can see the results for it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, one last question for you. Okay. You have an unlimited budget to develop a video game, a Total War video game. What time period do you choose and why?
Oh, that's a beautiful question, honestly. Does it have to be like a brand new setting, or can I do like a revamp, like a new title?
You can do no, you can do whatever you want. You can revamp, you can do new, you can whatever you want.
I think so. In the interest of reality, if I was like the head of CA and I had an unlimited budget right now, what I would do is definitely hit Medieval 3 because that's for one, that's the largest fan base. Like I think out of everyone, I think
probably
Rome 2 was just made too recently. You know, like I would love a Rome 3 obviously, and I would love for it to succeed, but I think Medieval 3 makes the most sense. And I'm with you, like where the Crusades are just like they're such a recipe for fun. Like it's just and like the whole entire
a lot of diversity, a lot of conflict.
Yes. It just everything makes total sense. Like I said, it's like ripe for chaos, and so that's why I feel like it makes the most conducive sense to do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I was actually thinking about it yesterday. I would also like enjoy a game in a higher medieval time period. I'm not very familiar with that time period, if I'm being honest with you, but like maybe the 15th century, like when the Ottomans were creeping into the Balkans and forward. That would also be quite interesting, but I agree with you, like something with the Crusades
the technology just makes the most sense to do something like that. Like, for example, what failed, I think, with Pharaoh with a lot of people, what turned them off was that the Bronze Age just doesn't have the technological advancement. So, like, they didn't even have Cav in Pharaoh for a long time, and just watching humans kind of clash with each other with just, like, spears over and over and over, like, you're going to get burnt out of that, obviously.
Yeah, and there's also, like... if you talk about that aspect, then I think the 15th century offers a lot of cool stuff because that's when they started adding gunpowder.
So, yes,
exactly. So you can do so much with that setting. But yeah.
The one thing I think that CA fails, well, not one thing, one of the major things they fail on doing is like the evolution of a campaign just isn't as juicy as it should be, I think. Like you've probably felt this in a lot of your campaigns. After a while, it becomes redundant. And technology, you just research it to kind of get buffs, and that's about it. But like none of it's like technologically
and
driven,
also, yes. And also, like a lot of the times, don't you get this feeling like when you do a research or the research, I don't know, like table progression, so to say, especially in Attila, it just sometimes just feels so useless. It doesn't give you anything like significant. It doesn't give you, yeah, exactly, and it doesn't give you something to look forward to. You know, think to maybe I don't know, in 50 turns I get this new technology that will unlock a completely different set of troops and such. It's very limited in that aspect, and it's pretty sad.
You're speaking to my heart on that one. I feel like that's my primary beef. But I feel like I don't know if I was alone on that one, so it's good to hear that you and other people also agree with the same thing.
No, I think it's definitely a thing, especially in Attila.
Yes, yeah, but like I mean, I get why a little bit. I don't understand why, but I kind of see a little bit of their side. Like you can't progress technology too fast because
of course, yeah.
Yeah, so you have to like kind of find a nice middle ground, and so that's probably their issue they always have with that.
Yeah, that's probably. I think the truth is between what we want and what they do. It's probably somewhere in the middle. There's
definitely some improvement. There's a lot of room for improvement. Can you tell me just real quick what your answer would be? Because I'm curious on what you think about the same.
If you put a gun to my head right now, I would do the Ottoman thing, the 15th century, and this only come recently to my mind. But then I would do DLCs where I would put the setting into the 1100s, into the 1200s, because I don't know why they don't do that. It would be.
I agree. They don't have to be DLCs. They can be like part of the game. You can choose your own camp. That's how Medieval 1 or 2, I think, was like, right? Where you can choose like the high or low or
something like that. Yeah. There's a mod, stainless steel in Medieval 2. It gives you the opportunity, but I always like they could quote unquote like milk the player base with that stuff. They would make their money and they would keep the players happy as well. Like imagine you give them, like I said, 15th century, right? Ottomans, Europe, blah blah blah, and then you make another campaign on the same map, and then you put the setting into, I don't know, 300 years earlier. And because listen, of course, with all due respect, if modders can do it, then they can definitely do it with their resources if they want to. And I think
the ones that designed the system.
Yes, and I think it would add so much value to a game. Then it would make it live like it wouldn't be a live service, because that's what everybody wants now for some reason. They want to catch the players and then put them into a live service. But giving them different campaigns, I think would prolong a game's lifespan. And it would also make it viable to players like, oh, I don't know, I discovered this, 6-year-old game, right? But it has so much to offer, so many campaigns. I would definitely buy that, right? So I think they're missing, they're leaving money on the table, but they're not even capable of doing one time period correctly. So how are they going to do 2 or 3? So it's just
that's a great point.
It's a fantasy, we're talking about fantasies here, but
it's weird because they have like the sole recipe for these things. Like, I mean, the beautiful mix, the hybrid between battles and campaign, like no other game does it as well as they do. So like, they have such a golden goose egg that they're just like not capitalizing on whatsoever. It just doesn't make any sense to me business wise.
No, and it's, I don't know, it's sad, and it's
really,
listen, I don't consider, and I'm not a smart person, but I see a lot of mistakes that AAA developers do, and I just wonder how did they, like, how does it leave the meeting room, How does it go into production? And you go through the plan and then you launch slop, and then you're surprised when it doesn't succeed, when it's so obvious for everybody else around. Like, do
you think like it has to do with like the market, like the job market? Like, for example, in the U.S., I'm not sure how it is in Europe, but in the U.S., it's very volatile. Like, people are always leaving jobs to like look for better money elsewhere, and so like no one has loyalty to a company anymore. So I'm wondering if like CA is suffering from something similar to that, where people just are not invested that work there, like emotionally. I mean, in the game, like, do they even give a shit about medieval history? That's what I'm trying to think. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm wondering if that's a good question. I don't know. From what I understand, I have no knowledge of this, but I think the studio in Bulgaria and Sofia is more dedicated, but maybe they weren't given the resources or time to do what they want to do. I don't know.
I know they're the ones that made Rise of the Republic, which was like the 2019 DLC for Rome 2. Like, they came 6 years after release or something, and it was such a beautiful. It's like the whole entire.
I try. It's very detailed. That's a beautiful.
It really
map.
is.
I wish
DLC.
Oh my god! I wish they would make. I wish they would make the whole Rome 2 map that detailed. That would be.
Yes, like if they made it as good as like.
Oh my god!
I would literally quit my job and probably like go into the forest and just play that shit for like days and days and days. It'd be pathetic, honestly.
Yeah, I would do the same. I think I would neglect my dogs, my wife, and I would just lose myself.
I'll be back in like a few months. All right, babe.
Yeah, see you later. That's what probably is gonna happen when Dawnless Days launches. I think they're gonna launch. Allegedly, they said they're gonna launch now. At the end of the year. But at this point in time, I'll believe it when I see it. I'm looking forward to that mod.
The amount of like unique assets that they make because of just like people who are dedicated to it for free, by the way. Like, these people aren't making money off of this. It's insane.
Yes,
like,
modders in general. Yes, I think
they're the ones that crack the code, like for like making new settlements on the unmodifiable map. Honestly, which is crazy to me as well. They're so dedicated.
Yeah, they've been working for many years now. I don't know when they started, but it's like a lot of years.
It was so long that I know that their mod used to be called it used to be under a different name, and they had to name it something different.
I remember that. I can't remember the old name. Yes, you are correct.
Yeah, that's how long they've existed, though.
Yeah, and also I just want to say, like, I always say, like, not always, but whenever I have the chance, I always thank modders for the work that they do. So directly, I'm gonna thank you for the work that you do, because like you guys do such a wonderful job for the players, and indirectly to CA as well, because you keep the games alive with your mods, and everything is it's for free, right? Like, you can obviously, there's mods that you can be patrons of and such, you do all this work and dedication for free, and because of the love that you have either for history or for the games, and that is deeply, deeply appreciated. So for anybody that watches this and goes into a Discord of a mod and starts bitching about something very rudely, I would respectfully tell you to think twice before you do that, because everything that you have access to with these mods is for free. Just keep that in mind. And people are working in their off time when they could do something else. Maybe they could enjoy life in a different way, you know. So always think about that and be appreciative of the mods. Of course, constructive criticism, I think, is always welcomed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but just be nice, because I've seen some rude Discord comments on the 1100 AD and on other sub mods as well, where like people just don't think and they just trash in there, you know. So be respectful, yeah, no, and I'm also super grateful for your work as a modder. I appreciate that, Roland, very much. That means a lot, actually. Yeah, you should know that, and you should be told that quite often.
I should also say, like, the community is actually really nice. Like, I've had countless people like DM me and like through YouTube comments or Steam comments or whatever, like, and they usually are respectful. They usually say like, you know, this I recommend this. I see this as a bug, and without those people, I wouldn't be able to catch those, because testing even takes a long time.
Of course.
On top of modding, of course. So like the community is such a great. Rome 2 has a great community. It's not like a shit community. There's always a couple of bad eggs, of course, but you know, yes. I think for the most part, the rule is that they're great people, honestly.
I agree, and I was surprised, like Bok, for example. He was always very kind and warm to me, even though like I didn't like when we started talking, he was always so nice, and I was always taken back by it a little bit, because personally I don't expect it, you know, like you meet people on the streets, okay, you try to be nice, you try to be friendly, but the warmth and the you know, just the love of the community is really nice. The historical
it really is.
community,
and the modders themselves. I haven't even come across, like, I mean, Gyrosmeister has like always helped me with like things. So has like Ave Metal. These people are such good dudes. I literally have nothing negative ever to say about them. They've always helped me like with a mountain of things, even though I don't ask for it. Like, for example, like right now, Successor Wars is not compatible with ParaBellum because of like a confliction with the mods. And Ave Metal, without even saying anything, he just offered like to like try to fix it. He's like, hey, I'm trying to fix this. Just like a heads up. And I was like, you are such a good dude. So like, yeah, the community at large, not just the players, but the modders themselves, all of it together. That's why I love Rome 2 so much. And that's why my heart's always in it, is because it's not just the game, but it also takes the environment. Like, I don't know how you are at like work, for example, but like at my work, I love what I do, but it takes like the people also in the environment I'm in for me to really love what I do as well. So it's like that exists in Rome 2. That's why I like it so much.
Yes, that's true. That's why I wanted to start doing a little bit more, because usually I just play campaigns, which is fine. I really enjoy playing the campaigns and talking about them. I'm actually super grateful that, like, listen, obviously I don't have a lot of viewers, but I am super grateful that even if, like, this might sound crazy, right? But even if, I don't know, like 10 people watch a video, I'm like, wow, 10 people took the time to watch that stuff that I was doing. So I'm super grateful for that as well. And yeah, like you said, the community is great, and it's what pushes me through as well, and wants to make, for example, this interview and to make maybe tournaments, because we recently were on the medieval 1100 AD. There's a tournament going on, which I was like with the guys, like, let's put a tournament together. You know, maybe we can offer some money to people. It doesn't even have to be a lot of cash, but it's like it builds the community, you know. And it's very awesome to see the matches between players, because now that I covered them, I think they're also watching the replays by themselves, you know. And it's interesting to see the tactics, how they evolve, how there's a couple of guys that are very good, beating everybody, but then people are starting to catch up. It's super interesting, and it's just, you know.
Yeah. It's those small things, you're right, that keep the heartbeat alive on a game. I think you're right. Also, I do want to take the time as well just to say thank you for playing one of the playthroughs. That was extremely nice. I know, like, you probably didn't like mean it in a sense of like, I mean, you might have, I don't know, but like, I just, whatever the motive was, I appreciate you playing the game. Like, I watched every second of every playthrough you did, so it was very nice of you to do that as well.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed. Honestly, I saw I was browsing the internet when you launched it that evening, and I'm like, I could start this. This is an interesting time period. It's very underrated. People are not super aware of it, so I would like to give it a go. And also, like, Antigonus was a fucking badass, man.
Son, like, we're just goated, honestly.
Yeah, how wasn't he was in his 70s, right, when he fought his last battle? How old was
correct.
he?
That's how much of a badass, especially in that age where that just did not happen in that
My
time
God,
period.
man! Like,
yeah.
imagine living to 70s in that time period, and then imagine the amount of battles and fights that he had. It's just insane.
I know, and he went out in a battle, like probably doing the thing that he obviously liked doing, which is fighting
Thrived
battles.
to do,
So
yes.
And where he passed away was at the Battle of Ipsus with Seleucid. So
yeah,
insane.
Okay, well, if you have any final words, I would like to give you the opportunity to do so, and then we can finish it here, if that's okay with you. It's almost...
That's perfectly fine. Yeah, I guess I just want to say thank you. Thank Ave Metal as well for always helping me out and everything he's done. Like I said, he's always trying to help and offer things, I suppose, and I appreciate him. I appreciate the community at large, and I appreciate everyone who's like telling me, giving me some bugs or giving me some insight or even their perspective on the mod itself, because all that stuff is greatly appreciated. You know, whether it's like
yeah, and it helps you.
Whatever the intent is.
Yes, it helps you a lot, because obviously it's difficult to develop something and then play test it as well. So the feedback that you guys give is very valuable, and it helps make the experience even better than it already is, which is a great experience. It's a nice mod. I enjoy it. It's a great time period.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your time. I'm very, very grateful that you took the time to do this, because you know, free time is, I think it's the most valuable thing to me. Like, obviously you have to have food in the fridge, but after that, free time is the most valuable resource that we have, and I'm very grateful that you allowed me to enter your brain a little bit. So
right back at you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.